Have you ever wanted to explore the open seas with your own crew and your own ship, participate in rigorous battles on the open water, and challenge your tactics? Well, now you have that opportunity, as this is Skull and Bones, an action-adventure game set in an open-world environment with the sole goal of the game to be the greatest pirate alive. Set to take place in the Indian Ocean, where not only will you have to fight against AI ships, but controlled ships as well. The game is being developed by good old Ubisoft, this being one of their biggest titles releasing this year, behind Outlaws. The game took inspiration from the famous Ubisoft title Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, a game beloved from those of the Assassin's Creed community. What's funny is that the game is actually, or was originally meant to be an add-on to the 2013 title, but Ubisoft decided to give it its own independent title, being Skull and Bones. The game started development over a decade ago, but in that time, with the update of all the technology, the game has been redesigned multiple times, meaning the budget of the game had to be increased multiple times as well. From what is public, the game cost Ubisoft roughly over $120 million, which is a hefty fee for a game, as when you look at the recent Assassin's Creed games like Valhalla or Mirage, they only cost roughly $100 million. No doubt, that is also a big fee, but to spend that on a respected title is okay, because it's got a huge community behind it and it's trusted. But for a new game, that is a pretty tough choice. The main thing that changed from the game whilst in development was the map. Initially it was meant to be set in the Caribbean, similar to Black Flag, then later changed to Hyperborea, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, coming from Odyssey, then finally moved to the Indian Ocean. This game has been a strange one, as it first got revealed in 2017 during Ubisoft's press conference in E3 and predicted for a late 2018 release. But it got delayed to 2019, then to 2020, then it got confirmed it would be 2021-22, but in May of 21, Ubisoft said it got pushed back to 2022-23. Then the game got confirmed for a release date in July 2022 for the game to come out 8th of November that year. But once again, another delay, pushing it back another 5 months to March of 2023. Then finally they said it would be early 2024 for the game's full release. And at the Games Awards of 2023, the final release date finally got revealed, and that was February 16th, 2024, which is a bit over 3 weeks away now. So after 6 pushbacks and almost 6 years of waiting, this game is just around the corner. Closed beta for the game was released in August last year, where many people got to test the waters of the game and give feedback to the community. Sadly though, the feedback was mediocre at best. Most people said the game was great, but it felt like a mix between Black Flag and Sea of Thieves. But the overall community was slightly disappointed with the game's development, as most people expected a much higher, unique quality game, as after all, they did make us wait. The overall footage of the game looks great. The graphics look wonderful, as that's where Ubisoft shines, but the details of the NPCs do seem a little bit off, but granted that's always hard to get. The biggest dislike though came from the multiplayer. Now the beta didn't feature everything. More things are going to be added in the full release, but during the beta the multiplayer was a bit annoying, as each person in your party had to command their own ship and you kind of rode more of like a fleet rather than a crew. Don't get me wrong, that still sounds like heaps of fun and still looks amazing to do, but I get it that people probably wish for more of a real experience of commanding a crew of real players. Myself, I'm quite excited for this game, as I've always been a big fan of Ubisoft's work with the Assassin's Creed series, and how sometimes they're able to deliver a quality game. My favourite Assassin's Creed game is for sure Black Flag, as it was my first ever Assassin's Creed game I had ever played. But not only was it great, it was a bit ahead of its time. The graphics were incredible, the gameplay was smooth, and overall just fantastic. Back then, Ubisoft were able to deliver. Another great but somewhat controversial pirate game that I love is Atlas. A game I haven't played recently, but when I did, I had a blast. From building your own ship to the combat in the water, I thought it was great. Though the game did get a lot of backlash and hate, mainly because of all like the bugs and missed promises, but as a pirate game, it was pretty awesome. Though when I first heard of Skull and Bones, I really hoped this game would have similarities to Atlas, as the freedom and ability to do so much in Atlas was the fun part. It felt like a true action-adventure survival pirate game, which is what I was hoping this game would be more like. But from the sounds of it, the game is going to be fairly similar to what Black Flag was, which is kind of disappointing to hear, as I loved Black Flags and the whole ship component of the game, but it did get kind of bland back then, and I fear that this is going to happen to this game as well. Other than Atlas, a game that got referenced to Skull and Bones from the beta was Sea of Thieves, an exploration pirate game to which you have your own ship and crew and explore the map, and the comparison is good and bad. People were saying like the game was a more realistic version of the game with realer graphics rather than like the cartoony style, but people were saying having the freedom of being on your own boat whilst in the open waters is something that's kind of missing. Hopefully as well, if this game does go well, the likes of Outlaws, another title of theirs being released this year, will hopefully succeed. Anyway, that's all I have for today's video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the game down below in the comments. Thank you for watching. Peace.